Everyone, it's time to get started with math. Today we're going to shift gears and we're not going to work with numbers really today. I know we have been working with subtraction, but today we're going to work with shapes. So our learning target talks about that. Our learning target says, I can identify 2D shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and circle this very important word that we're going to hear a lot in first grade. Identify. Does anyone remember what it means to identify something? Let's pause. Yes, to identify means to name something. So we're going to name 2D shapes. I want to talk about this idea of a 2D. The D stands for dimensional. So we are going to name two-dimensional shapes. That means that it has two dimensions or two sides. It has a top and a bottom, so it lays flat. So another way to say 2D shape is to say a flat shape. So we are going to name flat shapes. So all about 2D shapes. 2D shapes are also called plane shapes. 2D shapes are flat and closed. What that means is if you had a little ant and you were trying to trap it inside here, inside the shape, there would be no way for the ant to get out because the shape is closed. So remember that a shape, in order to be a polygon or a 2D shape, has to be a closed shape, okay? So here are some different 2D shapes here, and we're going to learn about them. Some of this will be a review because you did learn about it in kindergarten as well. So all about 2D shapes. 2D shapes have sides. This is a triangle. A triangle has three sides. 1, 2, 3. This triangle's sides are the same size, but not all triangles have the same size sides. Some triangles have sides that are different sizes. 2D shapes also have corners. Another fancy name for corner is a vertice. How many corners does this shape have? Let me pause. Very good. This shape has 6 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you take your two hands and kind of put them together like this, where they come together at the top where your fingers touch, that would be like a corner of a shape. It's where the two sides meet or touch. This shape here is called a hexagon. Hexagon, because a hexagon has 6 corners. So here are some attributes of 2D shapes. Let's go through each of them. We're going to start here. Okay. Oop, let me get my pointer. Here we go. Why don't we start with the triangle? We sort of already talked about a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides and 3 corners. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment while you get out your dry erase sleeve because I'd like to have you try to draw a triangle. I'll pause. Good, so most of us have taken a moment just to draw a triangle on our dry erase sleeve. Go ahead and erase that. The next shape we're going to talk about is a rhombus. A rhombus has 4 sides and 4 corners. So go ahead and try to draw a rhombus on your dry erase sleeve. Often a rhombus is called a diamond. To me, it's basically a square that's been smushed. Okay, go ahead and draw a rhombus. I'll pause. Okay, the next shape here is a hexagon. As we said earlier, a hexagon has 6 sides and 6 corners. I always remember 6 because 6 has an X in it, just like hexagon. We're not going to draw a hexagon right now, but you'll be drawing another shape in a moment. So a circle is another 2D shape, and a circle's sides are curved. They're not straight. It's 0 sides actually, because there's no straight sides. So we call this 0 sides, and there are 0 corners because it's curved. A side has to be straight to be counted as a side. Same with the oval. Ovals do not have sides or corners, but an oval is more like a squished circle. But these are not, they are not considered having any sides. So the answer is 0 on those. You can go ahead and try to draw a circle and an oval on your dry erase sleeve. I'll wait. Okay. The next two shapes I want to talk about are a lot the same. So a square and a rectangle both have 4 sides and 4 corners, okay? The way they're different is a square is special. He is special. A square is a special rectangle because its sides are the same size. Each of these 4 squares are exactly the same size, whereas the rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So a square is actually a rectangle, but a rectangle cannot be a square unless all 4 sides are the same size. Okay. We have a few more to talk about here. The trapezoid also has 4 sides and 4 corners, just like the rhombus, the square, the rectangle. But the trapezoid, the top and the bottom are different sizes. So the top is a little shorter and the bottom is a little longer, but the sides are the same size. Okay? And then a pentagon is 5 sides and 5 corners. Pentagon. Okay? Octagon is 8 sides, like an octopus has 8 sides and 8 corners, like this here. Okay? Octopus has 8 arms, same as an octagon has 8 sides and 8 corners. Kind of looks like a stop sign. And then the star has 10 sides and 10 corners. So we count these as corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also count these inside parts as corners, because that's where the lines or the sides meet. So we've gotten a quick overview of these different shapes. Most of these, like I said, you learned in kindergarten, so this is a bit of a review, but you probably forgot. Which shape is your favorite? Let's pause. Okay. So we're going to see what you remember, okay? Does anyone remember how many sides an octagon has? Let's pause. Very good. An octagon has 8 sides. And because it has 8 sides, it also has 8 corners. Great. Next, we have the oval. How many sides and corners does an oval have? Let me pause. You are correct. That answer was 0 sides and 0 corners. Nice job, crew. Okay, now we have a rectangle. Let's pause and see how many sides and corners you think they have. You are correct. That answer is 4. And I'm not going to write it this time. Okay, the hexagon. That X is a clue. How many sides does it have in corners? Let me pause. You are right. The answer is 6. Triangle. How many sides and corners? Show me with your fingers. That is correct. 3. What about a rhombus? How many sides and corners? Show me with your fingers. Let me see. Up. Make sure you got your answer showing. Okay, you are right. The answer is 4. What about a square? Quick, 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 show. 4 again. Good. Pentagon. A little bit harder. Let's pause and see who would like to give the answer this time. You are right. 5. A pentagon has 5 sides. And I think this is our last one. Trapezoid. Let's pause. A trapezoid also has 4 sides and 4 corners. Okay, we got the circle. How many sides and corners? Show me with your fingers. 0, right. And the last one is the star. Show me with your fingers. I want to see who remembers. 10. 10 sides and 10 corners. Okay, now I'm going to show you what you are going to do to practice our learning target, which said, I can identify 2D shapes, so naming your 2D shapes. So you are going to go into Seesaw, and you're going to practice this activity that says identify 2D shapes. So you will click on Add Response. Okay, so it says 2D shapes. You're going to click on Add Response. And there are 2 pages of 2D shapes. The names of choices of the names of shapes are at the bottom. So I realize some of you are not quite reading entire words yet, and that's okay, because you're going to be able to make a good guess just using that beginning sound. So do the ones you know first. For example, I bet you know this one is a triangle. You hear t, t, t at the beginning. So you could look at these words here, and only one of them begins with t, ter, ter. So you can use your hand tool and move triangle underneath the triangle, okay? And then you have 2 other shapes here, and you have to identify them by naming them and moving the name of that shape underneath the shape. When you're done with both pages, then you can click your green check and you will be all done. All right, so go ahead and get busy identifying or naming those 2D shapes. I know you can do a great job.